Hello language learners. So people learn Spanish for all different types of reasons, and the reason that they want to learn Spanish should dictate how they learn Spanish. Sometimes the reason behind it and how they want to do it, sometimes those reasons for learning Spanish and what they want to get out of it means some kind of unique cocktail of different Spanish language learning resources, and that's fine. Sometimes it means something a little bit more simple. It's up to each individual Spanish language learner, any language learner. In this video, I want to talk about one specific type of Spanish language learner out there and a few different resources that might be beneficial to you. Let's say you are a complete beginner in Spanish and you want to become fluent in Spanish. I hate that word, but what I mean is you want to be able to read it, write it, listen to it, and speak it with complete ease, no problem. You want to go and move to Spain and exist perfectly fine, no trouble, no issue, and you're starting from zero. How do you accomplish that? Fortunately, there are plenty of resources available, and I'm going to talk about a few of them separated into two different categories. The first category is going to be courses that are very, very highly structured and will poke at most, if not all, of those categories. Those language learning resources, you just log on and just go through the material and it'll just take you from 0 to 100%. The other category that I'm going to talk about is resources that will connect you to native speakers and or teachers who can help hold your hand if you can find, the teacher that you're looking for. They can guide you from A1 to C2 all the way through the Spanish language just by one teacher or two teachers or whatever. These are both equally valid ways of learning everything that you need to know about Spanish from absolute zero. Let's start with structured courses. I'm going to talk about two Spanish language learning resources that you can use to fill in all your blanks and to learn everything from zero to everything: advanced speaker, reader, listener, writer, there you go, that's the word, in Spanish. And also, by the way, every single resource I'm about to talk about in this video, I have reviews in the description box below, so you can go read those reviews, get some more information, because I'm not going to go, really in depth on any of these. The reviews in the description box will really go into depth so you can see what might work for you. First resource I want to talk about is Rocket Spanish. Rocket Spanish is like under the umbrella of Rocket Languages, which teaches, quite a few languages. Rocket Spanish is a pretty, kind of a formal course, very, very structured. They have 3 different levels based on, if you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced Spanish learner. You get the first few lessons of each of those 3 sections for free, and then after that you have to pay. But all the lessons are incredibly in-depth from beginning to end. Lots of pronunciation, descriptions, writing, reading, listening, everything. It targets every method of communication except for grammar. You're not going to get strong grammar lessons with Rocket Languages or Rocket Spanish. If you just want to communicate, that's really not necessary. You'll be able to pick up enough kind of general sort of vague ideas of correct grammatical conjugations and stuff like that just by using Rocket Languages, but you're not going to get anything like really in depth. It's all about communicating using the language. The other much more structured course that I'm going to recommend is Spanish Pod 101. Spanish Pod 101 is also underneath a giant umbrella of other Language Pod 101 like course things. Also have a ton of languages available. Spanish Pod 101 bases itself off of podcasts. All the podcasts are totally free. You don't need to pay anything for all the podcasts from beginner to advanced. There are a few paid tiers of Spanish Pod 101. Most of them include other basically other mixtures of the content, like vocab words, the dialogue, line by line, stuff like that. Just different ways to get the content into your head, which might be helpful for you. The most expensive tier includes a private Spanish tutor that will hold your hand through your course. When you start off with a Spanish tutor, then you'll take an assessment to assess where you are in all of the language skills, and your personal tutor can recommend lessons for you and stuff like that. I want to say it's like 30, 40 bucks, I don't remember, link below. I want to say like 30 bucks a month for the private tutor. Don't quote me on that, but it's really cheap for a private tutor that you have like unlimited access to. Spanish Pod 101 will work all of your Spanish language skills except for speaking. There's not going to be a whole lot of speaking practice on there. You'll have to go, you know, somewhere else, wherever you want for speaking practice, but everywhere else, Spanish Pod's got you covered. Okay, so those were the more structured courses. Now the next category is going to be ways to connect you with native speakers who can also hold your hand. You know, if you tell them what your goals are, they can hopefully hold your hand through making your way through the language. The first one is a slash. It's Italki and Verbling. You've probably heard of Italki. Verbling is less popular, but it's very, very similar to Italki without some small differences. I have a blog post in the description box below, you know, comparing the two so you can see how they're different. But Italki and Verbling are basically platforms where you can find native Spanish speakers and professional tutors to help you. It primarily focuses on speaking practice, but you can definitely find teachers on there with a much more structured approach. You know, I've had lessons where the first trial lesson was assessing my skills, and then the next lesson would have been, you know, working on my weaknesses, which is really helpful if that's what you're looking for. Italki and Verbling are not monthly fees. They're, you know, price you pay per each lesson, and it depends completely on the teacher. Each teacher sets their own rates, so it's really completely dependent on what you need, what you're looking for, what you choose, all that kind of jazz. And the last resource that I'm going to share with you in regards to this is Baseling. Baseling is also pretty popular. Baseling is, in a nutshell, Baseling is unlimited Spanish conversation with native Spanish speakers for a monthly fee. It's like $150, $200 a month, something like that. So if you're using it enough to make it worth it, it is super worth it. I mean, you could have conversations every single day for the rest of your life and only pay a couple $100 a month for it, which is a pretty good deal. Baseling has two categories. The first one is just speaking, just conversation, just get you speaking and fluent and all that jazz. They've recently changed their second option. The second option used to be for the official exam, but it's not anymore. It's still a more structured approach to Spanish. If you want to check that out, again, link below in the description. But it's definitely a more structured approach to Spanish and grammar, writing, all that jazz. It's kind of a nice mixture between the Spanish Pod 101 and Rocket Spanish courses and Italki and Verbling, because with Baseling you are talking to actual people as much as you want for a monthly fee. So it's kind of in the middle of the two categories, but I just, you know, I just put Baseling last because I could, I guess, I don't know. But that is all the resources that I have right now for taking you from absolute beginner Spanish to advanced Spanish, depending on what approach you're looking for, what you want to accomplish, what skills you want to focus on, what your budget looks like, you know, all sorts of things. The resource that works for you depends completely on you, which is what I always say about any language learning resource. If you've tried any of these resources, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your opinions. Other than that, I will see you every single Monday on my blog at crashculture.com and every single Wednesday and Sunday right here on YouTube. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.